Welcome back everybody, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Today we're reading some more Entitled People and it's going to be so fun. It'll probably also be mind-boggling and frustrating, but mainly fun. And yeah guys, I hope you're having a good day today, or I hope you did have a good day today, and let's get right into it. Enjoy guys. Entitled person wants me to leave because I look like Santa. So, I'm homeless. No, I don't drink, and no, I don't do drugs. I am trying to get a job, but finding employment when homeless is not an easy task, something I need to get out of the way. Every few days I take a trip to the library to charge my phone and battery so I can keep my phone on and working. I typically spend 3 to 4 hours in a quiet corner of the library glued to the power outlet charging. Today I had a cute but then frustrating interaction between a little kid and its parent. I walked through the sliding doors of the library and I wandered around looking for an open chair near an outlet to sit and charge. I heard this little voice shout out in excitement and glee, "Santa!" and pitter-patters of little boots running over to me. Now I get it, I really do. A big bearded man dressed in red with big black bags and an oversized backpack strapped over his shoulder. Any little kid would easily mistake me for the big jolly man. The kid stopped dead in front of me. She was clenching her fist tight, trembling in excitement. She couldn't have been more than like 4 years old. She looked up at me, her eyes open wide, and uttered the word, "Hi Santa." That made me smile and I laughed. Her mother came running over, scooped up her child and said sorry to me and then walked away, and then told her kid, "That's not Santa." The entire interaction put a smile on my face, but here's where it went downhill. I found an open seat and I plugged in to charge and do my thing. The little kid and her parent were there on the other side of the library, but the kid was still brimming with excitement. I could see her head poke out of the bookshelf staring at me every so often. That went on for about half an hour until I guess the mother couldn't handle her child anymore and she came over to me. She asked me to leave and find a different spot because I'm distracting her daughter. I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, but this is the only open space with an outlet. I need to charge my stuff." She very sarcastically said, "Oh, why's that?" I replied, "Because I don't have one, I'm homeless." I thought that was the end of it because her face went red and she walked away. But no, she came back. She went up to the front desk to ask if there were any outlets outside and if it's okay for me to use them. Seriously, she said the library is okay with me using the outlet outside, so I can go out there. I asked her, "So you don't want me in the library, a public institution, to charge? You'd rather me sit outside in the cold just because your kid thinks I'm Santa? Really? That's it?" I looked at her and I said, "Well, ho ho ho, Merry Christmas to you. I'm gonna stay right here until my batteries are charged." The lady went to the front desk and I listened in because I figured I'm screwed, I'm getting kicked out. She asked them to tell me to leave. They said they can't unless I'm intentionally making a disturbance, being violent or threatening, and I've been here before. I keep to myself and I don't bother anyone. So yeah, I was there for 4 hours. I didn't move or get kicked out. My things are charged and good for the next few days. Honestly, not the worst interaction I've ever experienced. At least she was somewhat polite. Edit, I don't think she was being malicious at all. I think in her mind she was doing a good deed. Wait, so they tried to kick you out because you were distracting their daughter? What? Yeah, like the top comment says, the entitlement. If her daughter was being that distracted, why didn't she try and do something and trying to have you kicked out? How are you supposed to control the attention span of a 4-year-old? Looks like the parent needs to do a lot of work. Such entitlement can be rubbed off onto a child. Yeah, that's so confusing. They're like, you know what? I should really be a parent here. Actually, no, that's way too much effort. I'm gonna blame somebody else instead. What's that? Taking responsibility? No, thank you. The next one is called Reservations Don't Count Because Brad Was Here First. Some weeks ago, I was taking my bike by train to another city. In my country, you have to book a space for your bike. These spaces designated for bikes can be used as regular foldable seats as well. A bike then occupies 3 to 4 seats. On the train, I explained to those on the seats that unfortunately I had booked the space and everybody vacated their seats, except for one middle-aged and very entitled Brad. I kindly asked him once more to move, and he said, "I was here first and I'm going far, so you need to find another space." I answered that these were the only ones for bikes, and that I had to park it and lock it as it is uncomfortable to stand with the bike in the aisle, especially while the train moves, and the space was mine. I showed my reservation. He didn't care and iterated that he came first. Nobody in the train said anything. I couldn't get any help because I was holding my bike. I got so mad that I simply said, "I can be childish too," and jammed my bike into his shins and locked it. He looked totally shocked. I don't think he expected a small, quiet-looking woman to do that. He must have had bruises for weeks. I kept staring at him for the rest of the trip. He didn't or couldn't move. What's with these people? Bro, it doesn't matter that you're there first. They reserved the spaces. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter that you were there first. And also, what the hell are they achieving out of doing something like this. Like, oh, I'm gonna be a giant pain for no reason. That'll really teach them for doing nothing. These sorts of people must wake up in the morning and be like, you know what? I'm gonna make some people's days worse today. Nothing else makes any sense. The next one is called Entitled Army Wife versus Major General. So this isn't my story, but from one of my friends. This happened long ago, and names and some details have been changed to protect the innocent. My friend, who I'll call Lucy, lives in a town with a pretty good sized army base. To make some money between semesters of college, Lucy took a summer job as a waitress at a local restaurant that's popular with the officers and their families. Lucy is liked as a waitress, to the point that patrons will ask to be seated in her section. But you're not here for that story, are you? You're here for the entitled people. And oh boy, did Karen not disappoint. It was a Friday evening, so it was packed. There's at least an hour wait. The kitchen is zipping and Lucy and her co-workers are on their toes. Fortunately, it is mostly regulars, so they're patient and even leaving nice tips and paying compliments to the waitstaff and the owner. Karen, who Lucy had never seen before, was seated in Lucy's section and begins the usual Karen tirades, complaining about the wait, sending her pasta dish back a total of 3 different times because it wasn't cooked just right, husband's rank name dropping, yada yada yada. Lucy, easily the most patient and kind-hearted person I've ever met, but even she was getting frustrated. Then the bombshell dropped. Like most places in this town, the restaurant offers a military discount. However, thanks to this being abused in the past, people wanting the military discount must show their military ID in order to qualify. There are signs posted on the doors and in the menu stating this. Most patrons are understanding of this, but as you can guess, Karen is not one of those people. It's time for the check and Karen is asking for the military discount. Lucy, polite as ever, is asking for Karen's military ID. Karen, what did you say? Lucy, can you please present your military ID for the discount? Karen, don't you know who I am? Lucy, I'm sorry ma'am, but company rules state that your ID must be shown to get the discount. Karen, are you calling me a liar? Lucy, no ma'am, but in order to qualify for the discount, you must show your military ID. Karen, my husband is Kyle, married to a biatch. He's a second lieutenant at the army base and he knows people. Lucy's trying to keep her cool, but she told me that she wanted to cry. Karen, I know people. I can make sure you never get a job in this town again. You're so stupid. You're probably some college dropout who will never amount to nothing. By this point, everybody is silent and even the owner is coming over. An older woman from another section, who Lucy has never even seen before either, gets up and comes over. The woman, who I'll call Belle, taps Karen on the shoulder. Karen stops her tirade and whips around, her face turning 50 shades of red and purple, stares Belle down. Karen, what do you want? Belle, you're gonna apologize to this young lady, pay in full and leave a generous tip. Karen, who the hell are you? Belle, somebody who can make things very difficult for your husband. Karen, I don't have to stand for this. Grabs her purse. I'll tell so many people just how much this place sucks that nobody's gonna want to come here anymore. Karen storms off, pushing the owner hard enough for him to fall on the ground, and left. According to Lucy, it was so silent that you could hear a pin drop for at least a minute. Belle helps the owner to his feet, makes sure he's okay, and then turns to Lucy. Belle, are you okay? Lucy, still shaken. Yeah, thank you, I'm okay. Belle, I'd like to apologize on behalf of the base. That was completely uncalled for. Turns to the owner. I'd also like to compensate for the meal and tip as an apology. Owner, there's no need, ma'am. Belle, I insist. Owner, thank you, ma'am. Belle returned to her seat and the night continued. Belle and her husband came back to check on Lucy before leaving and promised to come back for dinner the next Friday. It wasn't until Monday afternoon, when Cole went to the restaurant to apologize, that Lucy learned what went down. It turned out that Belle was the Major General who had just been posted to the base. That morning, Belle had him summoned to her office for a little chat. Because it happened off base, he was mortified and offered to reimburse Belle for the check and tip. He didn't get into trouble. However, he was warned that Karen's behavior could make things difficult for his career. He made sure that Karen verbally got torn up one side and down the other on the phone when he was done. In this town, gossip spreads faster than the flu. Karen never darkened the door of the restaurant again, but the rest of the town made sure Karen knew that she wasn't welcome. Belle kept her word and showed up every Friday evening for dinner with her husband. According to Lucy, she was a classy lady, and even if she didn't sit in Lucy's section, she'd make sure to tell Lucy hello and leave her a nice tip. Yeah, like the top comment says, well, way to go, Belle. I hate name droppers and such. Like, who cares? The whole, do you know who I am? I tend to say no, do you know who I am? It does throw them often. I'm grateful that I meet many less Karens at my current job than I did in retail. Yeah, definitely. Good on you, Belle. And the whole name dropping thing is so cringe and lame. And not only that, but it's making it harder for their husband. Yeah, that sucks. The next one is called I Asked a Woman to Put Her Feet Down from Beside Me. I was on a 2-hour Amtrak train sitting in the dining car with my food. This guy sat across from me, 4-seater table, but comfortably seats 2, one on either side. He leaves to get food. This woman in her 40s or 50s comes in, asking if 1 or 2 people are sitting where that guy's stuff is. I said 1 person, so she sat down and and took up a lot of the space. The guy comes back and takes his stuff and then leaves, presumably back to his seat. I continued sitting. She ate and at one point moved her Chipotle bag a bit into my space, but I didn't care as much. When she was done eating, she proceeded to stretch her legs under the table and put her feet up right beside me. I asked, "Can you move your feet down? They're right beside me." She stared at me and didn't say anything. I then added, "I don't appreciate it," and then she gave me a face, so I let it go. Then as I'm eating and reading, she coughs 3 different times, never covers her mouth, and burped 3 times and never excused herself. At one point she mumbled something about young something chewing bubble gum. I was chewing gum, but not sure what that has to do with anything. At one point I was done eating, but I didn't want to get up since I was reading and I wanted the window view. She puts her feet up again for the 3rd or 4th time, and her feet touched my thigh and stayed there. I said, "Please put your feet down, they're touching me." She makes a show of looking under the table to where her feet are, and they're right beside me since I'd shifted, but her shoes were touching my coat on the seat. Then she says, "You kicked me and didn't even have the courtesy and decency to apologize." I said, "When did I kick you?" She said, "Under the table." I said, "If I did, it was unintentional and I'm sorry, but you've intentionally put your feet up when I asked you not to." And then she crossed her arms and did that parental nod, like I'm not going to dignify this with a response. I'm annoyed partially because I feel powerless, that I can't even get someone to put their feet down, but I'm also proud of myself for speaking up when I wasn't comfortable. I'm still annoyed though. Yeah, and fair enough too, they sound awful. Like, why are they turning something that's meant to be an enjoyable time into something not fun? It's so annoying when people are being frustrating for no reason. Like, this person had absolutely no reason to be such a pain, but they were anyway. But yeah, good on you for standing up for yourself, OP. I don't know how you sat with this person for so long. The next one is called "Mummy Told Me That You're Taking Care of Me." Names and some details have been changed. I have posted a story that my friend Lucy told me about one of her favorite people, Belle. Oh, the one that we read before. Given how that story blew up, I decided to ask Lucy, who became friends with Belle after the restaurant incident, if Belle had any more stories. And oh boy, did Belle deliver. For some background, this was a few months before 9/11. Belle was a captain at the time. One afternoon in late August 2001, Belle and Adam, her husband, hosted a cookout for a few friends and neighbours and invited them to bring their families along as it's on a big property. One of those invited was Belle's friend David, a fellow captain under a different major also stationed at the base. It's at this party that Belle and Adam meet David's wife Karen, not the same woman from the restaurant, and their then 5-year-old daughter Mary. Belle and Adam, who were trying to have kids themselves, were charmed by Mary, a sweet and polite young girl. 9/11 happens and it's chaos. David is among those deployed to Afghanistan as the start of Operation Enduring Freedom. Before he left, he asked Belle, who wasn't being deployed, if she'd keep an eye on Karen and Mary should something happen to him. Nothing formal or anything like that. More of a friend asking another friend. Belle promised him she would, and they parted. It's early one morning in December 2001. Belle and Adam had a rare day off together and were enjoying a cup of coffee when they hear a car pulling up in their long driveway, stopping for a few minutes and then driving away. They think it's somebody who got lost and they go back to their coffee. Then they hear a quiet knock at the door. It was so quiet that they almost didn't hear it. Belle answers it. Standing there next to a huge duffel bag and red-eyed from crying was little Mary. She hugged Belle and told her, "Mummy told me that you'll be taking care of me." This is the first time they've seen Mary since the party, mind you. They bring Mary inside and they get breakfast for her. This was in the days before cell phones were widely available, so they have no way to get a hold of Karen. They wait a few hours and then they call David's house. No response. They call the police, tell them what happened and ask them to keep an eye out for Karen. Through the chain of command, Belle manages to get a hold of David's CEO and explains the situation. David is beyond shocked when he learns what happened, but he gives Belle the phone number for his parents, who live in a different state, and promises that as soon as he can, he'll be home. He also thanks Belle and Adam for watching over Mary. Mary's grandparents made the 20-hour drive to pick up Mary and drive her back to their home. A week later, Adam is home when guess who shows up? Yeah, it's Karen. Without an apology or an explanation of where she'd been, she demands to know where Mary is. When confronted, Karen said, "I just wanted some time for myself." "And you promised David that you'd keep an eye on her." Adam practically chased her down the road, screaming at her for what a neglectful mother she was. David hears the news from Belle and then starts divorce proceedings as soon as he's back stateside, because she's proven that she can't even take care of a cat. He does win full custody of Mary and eventually moves on to marry a nice woman who becomes the second mother to his daughter. Belle and Adam remained in contact with David and Mary over the years. Mary has grown into a polite and determined woman and is now an army officer herself. Yeah, unbelievable. I can't believe how frustrating people can be. The top comment says, "Goodness gracious, I understand that certain commitments such as support or be there for you and take care of may give some bigger room for interpretation, but come on." Yeah, like, oh, you promised to look after our daughter. Yeah, pretty sure they didn't. The audacity of some people. The next one is called Entitled Woman Wants Me Kicked Out of Walmart for Wearing a Costume. This happened in about mid-October. The company I worked for holds a Halloween party every year for our local children's hospital, and I was one of the few workers who decided to volunteer. I was doing face painting for the kids. The party was themed Nightmare Before Christmas, so I was dressed as Sally, full face painted and everything. Once the party was over, I went to a couple of Walmarts to look at some stuff. I went to the first Walmart and everything was great. A woman dressed as a unicorn who was helping run the self-checkouts complimented me and gave me some candy, so I assumed everything was fine. I went to the second Walmart, and immediately as I walked in, I went past all the checkouts to head to the aisle I needed, and I suddenly heard a woman making a loud ahem noise, and I looked over because I thought it was somebody trying to get my attention for something. Sure enough, a woman who was checking out continued to make the obnoxious noise, and then proceeded to look at me, and then to the woman watching the registers, and then back to me, and so on. I was so confused on what the hell was happening. The worker eventually looked at the woman and went, "May I help you with something? You're just gonna let this happen?" she said to the worker, directly looking and gesturing to me. Yeah, the worker said, giving an awkward look to me before kinda waving me off as a sign to run. I immediately started walking away so I didn't have to deal with some Karen yelling at me about how Halloween is satanic and that I should be ashamed of myself, as this actually already happened twice at my workplace, which was a Halloween store. I heard the woman say something about an effing robbery as I was walking away. That was nice. Not super climactic, but it was definitely nerve-wracking for me, as I had a lot of social anxiety. I can share so many stories about that job to the point that it's not even funny. Yeah, what's with people not minding their own business? We read about stuff like this all the time. Oh my god, aren't you gonna do something about this? They're dressed up for Halloween. Oh my god, the horror. Like, once again, making an issue out of nothing. The next one is called You're Not a Veteran, You're a Woman. And once again, it's by the same person who wrote the story about Belle. Due to popular demand, I've asked my friend Belle, a retired army officer, for more dependopotamus stories, and she delivered this lovely gem. This took place several months after she retired, but she was still living in the town where she was last posted. She went to a local store to get some last minute things for a party that she and her husband Adam were hosting. Belle has veteran plates on her car, and at this particular store, there's a parking space designated for veterans. So Belle parks in the spot when here comes our dependopotamus, aka Karen. Let me guess, somebody not minding their own business. It's every bloody time. The exchange went roughly like this. Karen, what are you doing here? Wearing your husband's rank? Belle, excuse me? Karen, you're not a veteran, you're a woman. Move or I will have you towed. Belle, no. Karen, get back here. Karen reached out to grab her, but Belle moved out of the way and then went inside, thinking that'd be the end of it, and pitying the poor person this woman was married to. Alas, it was only just the beginning. When Belle got home, Adam asked her if she'd seen Facebook. Belle said no, why? Adam then showed her. Our dependopotamus had stalked Belle through the store, took several pictures of her, and posted a nasty post in the military spouse support group about how Belle wore her husband's rank and took the place away from a deserving veteran, and my husband and I have to put up with this crap, among other colourful stuff. Belle just shook her head and rolled her eyes and went to preparing for the party. That night, people started arriving. One of the people invited was a major that Belle had mentored during her last posting and had a good relationship with. He arrived, exchanged the usual pleasantries, and then said, "Let me introduce you to my wife, Karen. Karen, this is Belle Smith, my former general." According to Belle, the look on Karen's face when she saw Belle's face was priceless. No way, so they were going to the party? That's so funny. They would have taken that Facebook post down so fast. Such an a-hole move too. Like, oh, I'm going to make assumptions about somebody that I don't even know. Not only be super rude to them for no reason, but also making an awful Facebook post about them, trying to humiliate them when they don't even know who they are. Yeah, that's infuriating. Such a funny ending though. The next one is called You Raised Me, Now You Have to Raise My Kids. An earlier post reminded me of something that happened a few years ago. Thanks to my immigrant grandparents working very hard and managing their finances really well, my family is comfortably middle class. My grandparents were able to buy their kids, aunts and uncles, used cars when said kids turned 16. My aunts and uncles bought used cars for their kids when my cousins turned 16. One of my cousins was furious when his child was turning 16, and my aunt and uncle weren't going to buy their grandchild a car. The exchange went roughly like this. Per my cousin's rant to me after the fact, cousin, but it's tradition. Aunt, yeah, and as the parent, if you want to carry on the tradition, you buy your child a vehicle. Cousin, but that's not fair. Aunt, do you need to borrow money? We can loan the money to you, up to so-and-so amount, and then you can pay us back no interest. Cousin, but I shouldn't have to pay you back. You bought me a car. My child is expecting to receive a car. And this went on and on. This cousin isn't the eldest nor the first to have kids. The other cousins bought vehicles for their own kids. I don't get where his entitlement came from. His parents aren't pushovers, so their final offer was a loan with a contract because if auntie loaned you money, she was gonna get it back. Cousin used his own money and bought his kid a used car, but complained about it until his own son told him he was wrong. Lol. Oh, that's so annoying. Has no idea how fortunate they are, and they're completely taking that for granted. Oh, behavior like this is so gross. And yeah, that's definitely enough for today, guys. Definitely time for something wholesome. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and together we will rise. Let us pray. Ramen. Yeah. That's so cute. I love when people in comment sections do stuff like this. They all work together on a joke. The best friendships are with people that you can be done with, and then 5 minutes later you can be having an extremely deep conversation. Yeah, how true is that? If you can do both of those super well, I feel like it's sort of an indicator that you're really connected with the person and also understand them, and you're also comfortable. Yeah, if you have a friendship like this, it's so good. The groomer cut every part of my husky except for his head. I can't stop laughing. Yeah, so why did they do this? I always think how funny Jin or Nez would look like this, but somebody actually did it. Like, obviously there has to be a reason, but yeah, still a beautiful puppy. And on that beautiful note, that's enough for today. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more Entitled People, make sure you like and subscribe. And the comment of the day today goes to Jenna. Thank you for making my morning better, Vincey. Great timing. I'm going to listen to you while I get ready for work. Oh, thank you for the support. That means so much to me. The idea that there are people out there listening to my videos in the morning, that's so unbelievable. Thank you for the support. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you had a good day at work. Hopefully the episode set you up for a good day. And let's do it again tomorrow, shall we? As always, make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!